Your company, like most other businesses, depends on local utilities for power, water, and telecommunications services. The service may be disrupted if the equipment that provides one of these services becomes damaged or destroyed by fire, flood, or any other peril. Utility interruptions can also lead to damage to your personal property and buildings. This could cause your business to close down and lose income. It's extremely important for restaurant owners to understand how coverage applies to situations like this. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into utility interruption, how it causes damage to a business, if and how exclusions apply, and how to use endorsements to add back coverage. First, let's talk about property damage and income loss resulting from utility interruptions. Utility outages can result in income loss and physical damage to business property. Here's an example illustrating how such losses could occur. Ruby runs a popular restaurant, the Cajun Alligator. A severe windstorm damaged power lines that are located 1 mile from the restaurant. The local utility owns these power lines. The restaurant is without power for 5 days. The Cajun Alligator has to close during the outage. This means it loses any revenue that it might have otherwise earned. It also has spoilage of its milk, produce, and other perishable foods stored at its fridges and freezers. The outage causes a loss of $25,000 for the Cajun Alligator. The Cajun Alligator is covered by an ISO Business Owner's Policy, a BOP. Ruby files a claim with her insurer for lost income and property damage. When she receives a denial letter from her insurer, she is shocked. The insurance mentions the utility exclusion in the property section of the BOP as the reason behind the denial. Many BOP and commercial property policies include the utility services exclusion in the standard special cause of loss form. This exclusion prohibits coverage for damage or loss caused by the interruption of utility services to the premises. Technically speaking, utility service is often defined by the policy as any shortage of capacity or reduction in supply, such as a brownout. The exclusionary wording, in addition to off-premises interruptions, also applies to outages that stem from an event on premises, i.e., the transformer on the restaurant premises is damaged. A power surge caused by the same event as the power loss is also excluded via the utility interruption exclusion. Let's say lightning strikes a switching station and causes a power outage at the Cajun Alligator. The damage to an oven will not be covered if the power surge causes it to fail. But what about resulting loss from a covered peril? If a power surge or loss of electricity causes the property to incur fire damage, the policy will pay for the loss or damage. Fire is an insured peril, so the loss is covered. Now let's talk about adding back coverages for utility services. Good news is that there are specific endorsements that give back this coverage. One covers direct damage while the other provides coverage for time elements, i.e. business income and extra expense. By purchasing either one or both of the ISO endorsements, businesses can purchase back coverage that was excluded by the utility services exclusion. These endorsements typically apply to the following utility service types. Water services. This includes pumping stations as well as water mains. Communication services. That which is used to provide television, radio, microwave, and other services. Power services. Covers electricity, gas, and steam. This includes utility generating plants, switching stations, substations, and transformers, as well as transmission lines. Let's talk for a minute about the direct damage endorsement. Direct damage endorsement covers damage or loss to property, such as food equipment, that is directly impacted by interruptions in utility service. This utility interruption needs to be originally caused by a covered peril, wind, fire, hail, etc. The maximum the insurer will pay for any loss is the amount shown in the endorsement, or if there is no specific limit referenced, the amount shown in the declarations. The utility interruption endorsement does not normally cover loss or damage to digital data. These damages can be covered under a policy that covers cyber risk and electronic data processing. Now let's talk about the time element endorsement. The time element endorsement covers loss of income to your business after an interruption in utility service caused by a covered peril, wind, fire, hail, etc. Generally speaking, you can only add the time element endorsement to your property policy if you have the business income coverage already included. If business income and/or extra expense is not part of the policy, the time element endorsement would likely not trigger coverage. In this video, we took a deep dive into utility interruption. We talked about how it causes damage to a business, how exclusions apply, and how to use endorsements to add back coverage. Hope you found the information from this video helpful. If you ever need help with your insurance for your bar or restaurant, our agency has expert knowledge, specialized coverages, and competitive premiums for food and beverage establishments. Feel free to reach out with any questions, thoughts, or information to get a free quote.